Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Laura, and I'd like to welcome you to Stitching by the Shore, my channel all about cross stitch. Every once in a while, we talk about something else crafty, but today is all cross stitch and a lot of it. I have quite a few projects to dig into and show you. Before that, if you are new, I want to say welcome. Thank you so much for pressing play and giving my channel a try. I hope you like what you see. Hit like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Feel free to ask questions if I haven't explained something properly, and let's just dive right into all this stitchy goodness. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much. As always, I am so appreciative of your time to come and spend with me, and I have to tell you, so yesterday was it was just a long day. It was a long day, and then this morning I slept well until about 4. I was up at 4 a.m. and that was it for the day. So Mo was being very diplomatic. He's like, "You're not really yourself this morning, Laura." And I said, let's just call it what it is. I was a grump. I was very cranky. I was grumpy. It was just the way it was. But I had my video today and I said, you know what? I'm looking so forward to that. And I'm looking so forward to talking with my stitchy friends and chatting about all the good stuff that I love, that it really kind of helped my mood a little bit. So thank you so much for helping me be a little less grumpy. And I'm sure Mo won't mind me being a little less cranky either. So thanks so much for that. But yeah, it's an illustration though that I was excited that I would get a chance to talk stitching with people that get it with me and enjoy it as much as I do. And that just kind of lifted my spirits for the day. And I mean, it's a sunny day. It's just, I think I'm just grumpy because I'm tired. So maybe this afternoon there'll be a little bit of relaxation. I always say I'm going to meditate to relax, and then I kind of fall asleep. I guess that's a form of meditation, right? So, all right. So before I actually show you the stitching, I did want to say thank you so much to anybody who watched my extra video this week. I did a little tour, almost 180, well, 360, right? I mean, if you go all the way around. I did a 180 though, because I went from one side to the other. Showing you my craft table, the different components that came from IKEA for it, and how Mo put it together, and just a few things with that. So super excited. I love having it right now. I'm in the process of the 2 organizational things I'm really focusing on is trying to get my DMC organized, and I'm just labeling. It's going very slowly, but it's going. And then I'm wrapping all of my fabrics. And so the table right now, as I wrap, what I'm doing is I'm just placing them in piles because I want to keep the fabrics in similar color schemes so that if I'm looking for something, I'll be able to do it. Once they're all wrapped, then I think I'm going to put them in some bins. Somebody did mention that when they did it, be careful, or when I was going to do it, be careful about any light, because I assume where the top of the fabric was, that it could get discolored from light. If I have them, for example, can you see the bin? No, it's too far away. Well, similar to this bin right here, except I'm using the smaller ones because it fits exactly. If I have a bin like this, and those aren't, they have no opening at all, and they're completely covered like this, and they fit almost exactly flush into the cubes, do I have to worry about putting like a piece of other fabric, you know, cloth fabric, sewing fabric or something over the tops to worry about light? Let me know what you do if you do put them around the comic boards and store them, if you have any concerns about lighting. But I digress. That table right now is covered with different piles of fabrics being wrapped in comic book boards. So it's so great to be able to have that and do that, and then have that one extra thing of organization kind of figured out. And I'm really thrilled I'm doing it because I've realized that I have colors that I never knew I had. So there's something to be said to be able to see what you have, right? So, okay, stitching. I have 3 finishes. 2 go hand in hand, but it's still 3 finishes. And then I have a new start, and then you'll get to see a bunch of projects as well. So let's start with the very first one. It's a finish. Now, I didn't have much, and I really decided on Friday afternoon I wanted to get it done. So I did. It is from Modern Folk Embroidery, and it's the freebie that he put out, I believe, if I'm saying it right, Myr, M-Y-R, Ukrainian peace pattern, I think is what he called it other places. Maybe. I thought I've seen that somewhere. But anyway, that's what it looks like. And I did use his suggested 444 for the yellow and 322 for the blue. Yes. And here's our cute little finish. Now the fabric itself that I chose, I went with more of the grayish tones rather than beige. This is an 18 count Wisteria gray from To Die For Fabrics. And there it is up close. I love it. I think what I would like to do, I have this pattern done. I have a Stone Street pattern started and one or two others that I would like to do. And I would probably put them in a scrapbook and kind of journal about my why for doing these pieces and so on and so forth. A little bit of history, keeping, scrapbooking kind of thing as well. But it was a lot of fun to stitch. It's really pretty. I like it on the gray. It's beautiful the way he's got it mocked up, but I do like it this way as well. You know me, blues and grays. So that's my finish, my very first finish. And I will do the other pieces in the same blue and yellow just for continuity. The Stone Street doesn't have just blue and yellow. So I will be introducing, for example, you know, there's a flower, the flower stem and the vase or whatever that's holding it. And so with those pieces, I will do other colors as well. But the flowers themselves will be the blues and the yellows, and so is the border. So I can get back to that. I wanted to finish one and then get back to the next one. Okay, so I have been in a habit of showing you full coverage each week, just a little progress that I've made. I've been trying to spend, well, some days nothing happens, some days an hour happens. If I'm really having a good stitching day, I might be able to squeak in 2 hours on a full coverage, but that hasn't happened a lot recently. So I think I did decent on this one, but it's not gonna look it because, you know, full coverage, until you really get into it and stuff, you don't see anything. They're all on the top corner because I'm so new to new coverage, so, or full coverage, so it's getting there. And I don't know, today is Friday, April 15th, tax day, and I clicked on, I want to show you the picture of the piece, and right now it's showing us 50% off. So I do not know if Heaven and Earth Designs is having a sale today. A lot of times she seems to do the one-day sales. So I did not buy on the last one, which was only a week or two ago. So I clicked this on, and I mean, I just searched it. So it's not a cached kind of page. I'm not going to guarantee it, but Heaven and Earth may be having some sort of sale today because this is showing at $9.50 instead of $19. It is Annya Kai is the person who designed the artwork, and it is Little Red Riding Hood from Heaven and Earth Designs. And I did go with the full one. I really wanted to do it in mini, and I thought the mini it'd be fine. It would translate to mini well, but the colors weren't there wasn't as much contrast between the deep colors, the dark colors, and the grays, and she didn't look right. She just didn't look right. So I splurged. I mean, this thing is 400 wide by 550 high. And I know for Heaven and Earth, that's still not huge. It's big enough for me. The amount of fabric. Now I did, this is the one thing you'll see that's not ironed because I had this somewhere else and I already unplugged the iron and everything else. So that's all right. It's gonna have some normal crinkles because I do stitch in hand, even the full coverage. So that's my corner. There's the kind of the garnet and then the black and the grays. And I did switch the 310 to Anchor Black because, you know, I just prefer that slightly better. If I'm somewhere in a pattern and it needs just a couple stitches of 310, I do have some, I'm pointing here because that's where I'm going to be storing them. I do have some 310s and I'll just grab a strand or whatever. But for a lot of it, I gravitate right to the anchors. So 18 count white Aida. I'm doing 2 strands, 1 square, so 2 over 1. I believe is the proper way. And I just jump around. I don't have any specific way of doing it. Kind of looks like I'm doing it on a diagonal. I can't figure out the parking. For those of you that do it, wow, it is amazing. I would, all those strands, I couldn't do it. So I just kind of do it my own way. I've just made it up as I go. But I really enjoy it. What's nice about this is there'll be blocks. I mean, there obviously are changes. There's 3 different grays, I think, and then a couple of the different garnets, and then the black. And you can't quite see it yet, but now there's like a deep blue showing up. So you do change around, but you get a good strand. And I don't do the giant strands, but I do a decent size. And you get a good enough strand, you can do squares without doing one X and then switching colors and then another X somewhere. So I'm enjoying it. I like it. So that's where it is. It got put aside for this week, but this one, well, the Ocean Village, Hidden Harbor, and this one, they have color changes, and in some places it's a little bit heavier and confetti than others, but they have nice chunks where I can do color. So I find that I'm gravitating to those 3 more than my Christmas Tales, because that's heavy, heavy confetti. Maybe in May, because I think I want to have a Christmas themed May. So maybe I'll pull it out for then. I also have a mini, well, there's a couple different minis. I look at different of the patterns. I say, oh, I like that one. And oh, I like this one for full coverage. But there's one with a cute little doggy. And because we're so focused on Shamrock right now in our lives, because of where he is in his life, it might be fun to stitch the cute little doggies at the bottom. I'd be starting at the top, so it'd take me a long time to get there, but it is a mini. So I've thought about starting that one. You may some point. I do have the fabric cut for it. I was going to start it potentially before this one, but that was one of the pieces I didn't have the floss for to start. So I've since remedied that though. So that's Little Red Riding Hood, Heaven and Earth. And later on, you can bet, I'm going to go check out the Heaven and Earth site to see if they actually are 50% off today. Check out what's on my wish list. Okay, moving on. I have a lot of digitals again. I'm definitely finding I like that. The one thing I'm finding with digitals that I don't like is I can't flip through as easily. So right now I'm housing my patterns here, my paper charts. I did pick up, and I haven't opened the box yet, so I got to see if I like it. I picked up some magazine holders from Bed Bath & Beyond. I had to order them because they didn't have them in the store. So I don't know if I'll like them, but I'm thinking I would prefer to have the patterns in something like that rather than this, because this way they could stand up better. Here they kind of, unless I was completely chock-a-block full, they kind of bend a bit. So I can still, but I can look through and I can see. My digital patterns, not so much. You know, I mean, I have them on Dropbox in a folder, you know, and then I still have them in a file on the computer as well. But I just can't see everything. And I have printed some that I haven't done yet out. But, you know, in my head, I'll be thinking, oh, I have this pattern and I forgot about it. So I need a better way to keep those better in my memory, or to have a little picture of them so I can flip through and if I'm thinking of a new start. So if you do something with your digital patterns and it's a way for you to visually see what you have, I'd love to know. Any help, any help. You know I'm in the organizational mode. Okay, so next I pulled out for a while. I took a day and I stitched on Autumn Town from Autumn Lane Stitchery. I'm determined to get this done. Houses and trees. It's nothing but houses and trees. And I switched sides which way I was working on it. First off, let me show you. There's my progress. I feel like I did some good progress. I had been lately, I'm just going to bend that down a bit. I had lately been working on this side. I decided I wanted to focus on this side instead. So I got a lot of the tree done here, and then I got a decent part of this house. This right here is where the start of kind of the lawn would be at the end. Let me show you picture-wise of the pattern. And then they have some stray pumpkins. Let me go up a little bit. So I am right here in the pattern. So you can see how there's pumpkins at the bottom, and then that'll be it. So I am getting very close to the bottom of that piece, which I think I'd like to work my way down that way a little bit, and then I'd be done all the way on this side, all the way on this side, and then I can just slowly work my way with it. But trees and houses, this is such a fun pattern. If you don't like stitching trees and houses, you may not like it, but I'm enjoying it. So that's where it is right now. I really need to get this done because people tell me there's a rumor that they're going to do more seasons for this town. So I'd have to get this one done first. 18 count fallen leaf fabric from To Dye for Fabrics. So that's what it looks like. All right. Next, I need your opinion. So, you know, I am now completely loving the gnomes from Wonderland Ukraine. As always, everything that I talk about, if you go to the description box, I talk about each pattern that I have discussed in the video, and I offer links and any changes I may have, and so on and so forth. So the overall pattern, when you get 3 when you order the summer gnomes. That's what they look like. And I, for no particular reason, I just basically went eeny, meeny, miny, mo, I think. I started this one, the middle one here that you see. It's called Summer Gnome 2 in the pattern. Now, I had talked about this last week, I think, how I really enjoyed how the blue, there's 2 or 3 shades of blue, and so the background looks really pretty with it. And I had a little bit of that started last week, and I showed you, and I kept doing some more, and now I'm waffling. I'm actually just going to fold this like this because I only have the top part done. I adore this gnome stitch so far. The colors in this sunflower keep coming alive, and I like it so much, but I am not sure I'm loving the blue. So I have a dilemma whether or not to pick it out, which I might, and we'll see. If it's really obvious I picked it out, I might have to restitch it. There's more here on this side, so I might try picking that side. If it looks okay and I've picked it out, what I might do is stitch the guy. I will stitch probably the little blue at the bottom by his feet, but I'm wondering if he needs that border, because I love him against this color. This is 18 count fabric. It's unnamed, and it came from Coffee Crafts Fabrics. So I have a dilemma. What do you think? Here's the picture as it looks. Ironically, if I had decided not to stitch the blue, I might have put him on a blue, but I really like those colors against this green. So I'm really glad that I chose that. And I do have enough fabric. I could stitch the other 2 gnomes on this if I wanted them to be on the same fabric. They don't have to be. When and if I'll stitch all 3, I don't know. I mean, this pattern is $5.40 for 3 patterns is you know, even if you stitched 1, you can tell this is just the top part of it. It's going to be, this is the fabric I have. It's a good size. So, but what do you think about the blue? I'm waffling. I really don't know. Usually I have a pretty distinct opinion, and I make the decision back and forth fairly quickly. But I'm second guessing myself on this one. I'm not sure. I think what I will do is I will unpick, see what the fabric looks like after I've unpicked it. My other option would be, and I have to open this again, is not, oh no, I can't do that. I was gonna say, I wouldn't stitch it all the way out here, but I have to because this guy comes out. I was gonna just do maybe part of it, but that would look weird. I either have to do it all or none. So I think there's going to be a little bit of unstitching in my future, just to kind of suss it out a little bit. So let me know what your thoughts are on that one. Super cute patterns, really fun to stitch. I am enjoying stitching their pattern. First time ever for me with this designer, Wonderland Ukraine. Okay. Oh, it's warm up here. We went from winter to summer, so it's not just a hot flash. It is legitimately warm because I didn't put the air on. Okay, next. I actually have a paper piece to show you on this one. Hands-on design, winter solstice. You know, I didn't have enough houses to stitch when it came with Autumn Town, so I was like, let's do some more houses. I am not stitching them separately. I'm stitching them as a complete piece side by side. I didn't work on any house this week, so, you know, there's that. That's what it looks like. I love this blue. This is an 18 count Lapis from To Die for Fabrics. It is a beautiful, like, deep denim blue on 18 count. Remember, that will be different otherwise. Love it, love it, love it. It's one of my favorite blues from them. And you know I love my blues and I love their blues. So yeah, I think I could see some of my Santas flying on this kind of blue or other things on this blue. It really is gorgeous. Anyway, back to this piece. I decided I wanted to stitch this whole side, which I did, and I think I did the moon as well. Yeah, but basically Serenity. So on this side, it says Solitude. On this side, it says Serenity. Now you'll notice in the pattern, those words are stitched in, and you stitch it, let me just look if I can see down here. It's avocado in Gentle Arts. And you know me, I'm not doing let's see if I can reach in. I think this is the alternative they give. Yeah. I don't use variegated flosses, hardly ever, near to never. I use DMC. So the alternative DMC that they gave is 3053, which would be fine. I mean, it certainly would look fine against this blue. But while on camera, I don't know if you can see it as well. In person, having the negative image of the words actually looks really, really nice. And I'm really enjoying it that way. I can see and read the words just fine as a negative image. So I think I'm going to keep it that way. And I'm not going to fill in those letters. I think it just would look... Well, and very often I don't mind the coverage of 2 strands on 18 count, but in this case, I feel like it'd be kind of squished in. So if I did it, I would only do it maybe in 1 strand, but I think I really just like it this way. So I think I'm just going to keep it that way. So we're plugging along. I'm doing everything else but the house, so I'll have to finish up the houses. But it's a fun stitch. I had not seen this one before. It's not a new stitch, I don't think. Let me see if I can see what the copyright. 2014. Oh, so yeah, it's not definitely not new. And I enjoy it. I'm enjoying it. It's a hands-on design piece. And in the pattern itself, they made it into a pillow, and they do provide some of these little things here. I'm not doing any of that with it. It's just going to be like this. My solitude and my serenity. Kind of like my crafting room, right? So I was going to put that back in. I'm just going to leave it on the outside there. There's that. Okay, I have 1, 2, 3 more. I have a start, 2 more finishes, which are a pair, and then 1 more regular piece. Okay, next. This was one of those digital pieces that I actually meant to start ages and ages ago. Totally forgot about it. And I honestly do not know what made me think of it. But as soon as I thought of it, I said, oh, I really liked stitching. I'm calling them companion pieces. There's 3 floral designs. And I've stitched 1 already. I meant to pull it from my completed projects file, my unfinished finished projects, and I forgot. So if I think about it, it's going to take me a while to stitch. I'll bring that one up at some point and show it to you. But Crocette Gogo, this one is called Poppies in Summer. I stitched 1 previous to this, and then there's 1 that I do not own. Isn't that pretty? I just love the colors. And I did, like the previous one that I stitched, I did go with a neutral tone. I really wanted, especially those bright poppy colors. I wanted them to really pop. So I did keep it neutral. This is Color and Cotton, 18 count Old West. And that's where I am. You're not going to see potentially the white as well. In person, it's fine. On camera, maybe not so much. When it's done, it's a beautiful kind of lacy-like frame, but I really want the flower to pop, the flowers. And those colors plus the greens look nice against this. So that's just why I decided. And I can't remember. You can see, I'm like, well, I think that'll be fine. I'll finish it tight enough that it's not going to matter, but I didn't want to waste other extra fabric, so I said, I'm just going to take a chance that this will fit. What was I going to say? I don't remember. It's gone now, completely gone. But I did do, there's two different shades of orangey / reddish. I did do both of those and they look nice on here. And I did do two different greens and I did like them on there as well. The white, surprisingly enough, that is 6 strands, you know, of DMC, the DMC. It's like, boy, you'd think 6 strands would get me farther than that, but good thing there's always extra white floss hanging around because I'm going to end up using quite a bit. But that's what it looks like so far. I really enjoyed the first one. And what I will do, I will go back and forth because if I tried to do just border, especially white floss, I'm not a good white floss stitcher. There's certain colors that seem to be harder for me to get to lay pretty. And I don't necessarily care how pretty they finally lay. That's just not me. This is a process for me. I enjoy doing the actual stitching and I'm not going to put pressure on myself to worry about if the stitches look perfect. But white stitching can be particularly challenging for me sometimes. So I will go back and forth. I will do some flower, then I will at some point maybe pick a length of 6 strands and kind of work on that and go back and forth. I know near the end I did have a routine and it was going a little faster because I had figured out a design routine that made the stitching go a bit easier because it's repetitive all the way across, up and down, sideways. So, but yeah, that's what it looks like so far. These are fun stitches if you've not done them before. They're very pretty. I'm a big fan of Crocette Gogo though. I really like their patterns. Okay, the double finish. I did it. I finally, so what I did was this week, every single day, I made myself do 15 minutes, a strand or two. It changed from each day. I didn't have a specific, so that I could get these done because they were close. There was no way around it. They were close. So I definitely wanted to get them done. This is Summer in Nantucket from Plum Street Samplers. And if you're new, I stitched this in 2 different fabrics, purely just to see what would happen. Luckily, they're small enough that works. All right, I'll show them separately, and then I'm going to show them side by side. I know all of you have talked about which one happens to be your favorite more than another, and it is amazing, amazing how floss will look different on what fabric you choose. So think about that when you're picking for your patterns. If you want a certain thing, maybe even try a stitch or two, because between the blue and the kind of golden, there's especially one floss. If I look quick, it looks so different. It's really kind of cool. So here's the first one. This is 18 count Summer Storm from To Dye for Fabrics. And now, on both pieces, I did do exactly the same colors. I did change the whale in both of them. It was charted to be the ecru. And most especially on this blue, in person, I can see the ecru, but for something the size of the whale, I wanted that to really pop more. So this whale happened to be charted in the DMC version was 926. So I decided to do the same thing for that. And then you'll notice down here in the ocean, there's kind of 2 almost, they're not quilt blocks, but they're, you know, they're kind of primitive little motif looks. And I decided I didn't want them. I just added extra fish. So I added an extra fish here and an extra fish here, because otherwise it kind of looked like something was missing. There was kind of an empty spot. So I did the best I could to kind of figure out what spot would be best for the fish. Plop them in, no problem. So that's the blue. Now let's put that one down for a minute. Here's the yellow. And this is an 18 count gilded fabric from Mystic Fabrics. Exact same colors as the blue. I did the same thing with the extra fish. And I did the same thing with the whale. I changed it out. So side by side, the one thing that looks very different, and I don't know if the camera will pick it up as much, are the fish swimming alongside the whale. It's the same exact shade. On the blue, it almost looks like it's a grayish green. On the gilded, it's a grayish blue. And in person, you can see the difference. I don't know how well the camera's picking it up. So they're definitely, it picked up different tinges of the color of the thread itself. And what your eye is seeing is a little bit different. So would I ever do this with a big pattern? Nope. Will I ever do this again? Maybe if I was going to do like ornaments. I might be doing more than one anyway. So maybe I would pick two different fabrics, especially wildly different, and experiment. But I don't think just for the heck of it, I'm going to pick up two patterns this size, a pattern this size and stitch it twice again. I literally would stitch a strand here and a strand here because I wanted them to be exact all the way through. So that's what we've got. I've got 2 finishes. Yay! This makes 13 finishes for the year. And before I started Poppies in Summer, I thought I was going to come at you with even. I have 13 starts, 13 finishes. But I started Poppies in Summer. So I have 14 starts this year through this week and 13 finishes. So there you go. And this would definitely be something I would love to, again, probably scrapbook and talk about why I did it and what my reasoning was and, my conclusion sort of. It's sort of an experiment, right? So you'd have a hypothesis. I really didn't have one. I just was interested. And then you have your conclusion. So I wouldn't put up the same exact piece. I could see maybe you could do it one time a year, one in another or something or other, but I think it might be more interesting for me to look back if I had them kind of together and explain why I did what I did. So somebody asked, I know I've been talking about stitching scrapbooks for ages. People have stitching journals. I call it a scrapbook just because I don't want to confuse it with the journal I have that I keep track of all the stuff that I stitch. They're 2 different things for me. But lots of people have stitchy journals, they like to call them. They kind of take that junk journal look and put their stuff into it. I have been back and forth, and now I'm all in one place, but it's all boxed. So I'm really hoping. I have to make a big giant mess. I have to take everything out. And I really feel like I can't get into paper crafting and scrapbooking until I have myself organized. Stitching is fine. I can take my stitching and go, but I'm a little bit more, especially if I want to scrapbook, all in one spot. And I really, I'm feeling, stress is the wrong word. I'm feeling unsettled with it, having it all in different places and not having a clue where it is. So I need to, I take a little time right now. I'm focused so much on the fabric and the flosses. So that's what I've been working on. And Mo hasn't built me everything yet anyway. So I'm still, which is fine. When he gets to it, he gets to it. It's not like I don't have other things to organize. But I would like to kind of settle things. And then I would definitely like to enjoy kind of combining some of my crafts. Okay, one last piece. And then I will get on to other business. So if you're not interested in that, you can head on out. And I mean that in a nice way. I'm not meaning anything in a go type of thing. All right, last one. I had high hopes that this would be almost at a finish with you at this point. It's not. It's going to need 2 more stitching days, I think. Big blocks of time. VladaXStitch, Delaware. I'm not stitching the word. I'm just stitching the actual state. And I am I am done with Newcastle and Kent counties. I am solidly in Sussex County, the southern Delaware. It's funny because here counties are a much bigger thing. In Connecticut, I think there's 6 counties in Connecticut, but they're not, except for maybe like if they wanted to talk about a thunderstorm in a specific county or something. But otherwise, we never really, it wasn't a thing so much as it is more down here. So I don't know, just something new and interesting when you move to another state. Okay, there we go. That's what it is. So like I said, I'm firmly in the south of Delaware at this point. I finished all on this side of the sky, and then I'm working, I came over here. This is mostly one page. Well, the top was a page, and then down here was a page, and then there's a section over here that's just I don't know, maybe 15 stitches long. But the one thing is she doesn't, I don't know, the designer does not have any overlap. It's like, now what is positive though is their charts are very, very clear. It's very easy to see the lines, you know, 10, 20, 30, 40 each direction. And so you can tell exactly where one page lines up with another, and it's very clear. So that's good. There is no overlap, so it is a little bit more paying attention there, but that's fine. I did a lot of this without doing a working copy, which was kind of silly of me because a lot of the colors kind of blend together. So I smartened up, started using a working copy. It's going faster. But there's a lot of that done, and then a lot of this here. But you still got the state will come out a bit, comes in with the bays, and then goes out a bit. So I thought I could do one more day of this and come at you with a finish, but I don't think I can. I think it would be 2 more days. I may keep it in the rotation because now it's close to a finish, and you know I've really been trying to get pieces that are close to finishes, get them solidly in a rotation so that I can get them done. So we'll see. But that's where it is. Really enjoying it. 18 count beach glass fabric from Vintage Needle Arts. And that's it. Today's gonna be a long video. That's the way I had a lot of stitching. Lots of stitching to talk about. So shopping, let's talk shopping. I did get a piece of Happy Mail, but I just haven't had a chance to thank the sender, and I want to do that first before I show anything. So I'm going to reach out to her. She sent a very lovely package. The little card that she sent has gotten me inspired to create a thank you card like that, or in the case of sending out to you, I will make a version maybe that says little congrats on it, so that when I send out giveaways, you might see it in some form, because usually when I send out any winner stuff from giveaways, I just send a little note card. So I was inspired paper craft as well, but that's coming. All right, so let's talk shopping. Everything I have from shopping is fabric. And after doing all my fabric, I realize I have a good amount of fabric. So before I start looking at a color to buy, I need to shop my supplies first, because odds are I probably do have something that would work, even in my convoluted brain that wants a specific color a lot of times for a pattern. So I have 3 different companies to show you. The first one, Mystic Fabrics. Misty, every once in a while, she does fabric games. She's done them for, I think, longer than I've been back to cross stitch. Usually on the weekend some point. I totally missed when they started, but I believe. I think it wasn't very far in. But Misty does limit in the first hour or 2 certain things that people can buy. So sometimes you have a better shot of getting something. So, you know, I went straight to the 18 count Aida. And I was looking at this color in her website, and I had never picked it up. And there was one there. So I said, I'll give it a try. So I picked up Spring Breeze. I am a purple girl. I love purples. You know, they're along the lines of the blues, right? Blues and grays. So not a surprise. So this is called Spring Breeze, and it's from Mystic Fabrics. Super pretty. I could totally see Um, lots of spring things on there. You know, I'm doing my gnome, my Christmas gnome on purple, and I'm loving it. And I did another piece on a purple. So purple for Christmas has been really fun. Obviously you could do Easter on a purple. That just goes hand in hand. The other thing I was thinking is if I was to do, you know, the Jardin Privé, the spring sampler piece that I had picked up a couple weeks ago. If I wanted to do it in a monochromatic, I was thinking for them, I might do them in a monochromatic floss and find a pretty seasonal color for each season. And I thought about pink for spring potentially, but this purple would be very pretty too. And that would be a springy color. So I might think about that. I'm not sure what the floss color would be. Not necessarily a black, but maybe I really like deep blues. And that would certainly go with all the different colors of the fabrics that I would choose for the seasons. So that's a thought. You may see this fabric sooner rather than later if I get that pattern going. Then I got my fabric of the month, April, from Color and Cotton. I am in 18 count Aida, and I think I just get anything. I don't think I'm in necessarily like a neutral club. I honestly don't know how they do it. Every time I see somebody who gets their Color and Cotton fabric of the month, they're never the same. Nobody's are ever the same. So I'm not exactly sure how it works. I am going to tell you to look away if you don't want to see it. If you do like to be surprised, I'd like to see kind of girl. I'm the one that I would read the end of a book to see what's coming type of thing. Yes, I know. That I don't in mysteries because I do like to try to figure it out myself. But I sometimes kind of like to know the ending of something before I like watch it or whatever. Especially, you know, if I'm invested in it, like, is this person gonna make it, or is this team gonna win, or I just like to know ahead of time. So I don't mind being spoiled, but surprises, some people really like surprises. So look away if you do not want to see. I'm not going to say the name because that will give it away. I'm going to show you first and then I'll bring it up close. So that's what it looks like. And let me don't look yet if you don't want to see. That's what it's called. I'm not sure with Color and Cotton though, if you can order what their fabric of the month colors happen to be. I don't know if they just do it on a whim and then change it out type of thing. They did change their packaging. I'll put this down so you can look back. So before they used to, like many of the other people, put the piece right here and attach it. Well, this month they started something different where they put the fabric in plastic and then they just taped a sticker, stuck a sticker to the plastic. Well, if I wanted to keep it in the plastic, that might work, but I don't. I don't anyway, even before I did the comic book. So what I did was I cut out the label and I stapled it to the, you know, the serged edge. I mean, I would never be stitching that close anyway, so it really doesn't matter to me if there's a staple there. And that's what I'm going to do. I don't think when I come to my comic book, I'm not going to label them. I'm just going to keep the labels on the fabrics and do it that way. I don't want to show you if you haven't seen, but I am trying to, you know, I use plastic for some things, but I try to reuse. And if I get something in a plastic, in order to protect it when it goes out to, say, for giveaways, I reuse them if I can and send things in plastic out to you. But I just don't want to keep throwing away a bunch of plastic if I don't have to. So we try to, sometimes if you ever get something that's marked up a little bit, it's just me reusing them. So I feel like I'm kind of recycling it a little bit. So it gets at least another use. Then I got my order in from To Die For Fabrics. And you know, I'm going to show you the one I went specifically for one thing. And then I was like, oh, I have not tried any of these colors and they're really cool. So let's just try them. So I'm going to show you a pile of colors that are new to me. I don't have them. I had not had them. And it's kind of like a rainbow. Cream, G Biv. Yeah, it's kind of like the rainbow. I have to use Roy G Biv when I do all my stuff. And I do, like, my cardstock will be organized in that order. I will do my fabrics the same way. I don't know, it just works for me. Anyway, you know, I was looking for, I meant to bring her up. Let me see if I have Autumn Town and I can go You know, I want to start Serena Sprout from Autumn Lane Stitchery. And let's see, Autumn Town. Let's go here and try to find, she's right at the front because it's a new stitch from them. So Serena Sprout. So I ordered the digital pattern. That's the pattern. And I adore it. I love the colors. I love, love, love the colors. And I've been hemming and hawing on different greens and I haven't decided yet. So I saw this green at To Dye for Fabrics. I think it was a new one that she had listed. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a try. I have to do a floss toss. I haven't done that yet. I just got these in yesterday and they've been sitting in my pile for the video. So, but this is called Honeydew. Again, 18 count aida, as all of these are. Let's see if, oh, I hope it shows up. It's a really pretty green and I have the flosses that way, too far away. And they'd be a mess right here. But I am going to do a toss of the floss on this and then look at the other ones I have. But this is a really pretty green. It's green with maybe a slight tinge of mint, but it's not like in your face green. It's really pretty. Honeydew Melon. This is the 18 count version. So Serena Sprout. I know that they did it originally on, whoa, you don't want to see the bottom part of Etsy. Oh my goodness, all the reviews. Okay. So there she is. They did it on Friendship Green from Fabric by Stephanie, which is a gorgeous green, by the way. But I'm thinking this might work. So stay tuned. I will let you know. Other than that, I picked up a whole kind of rainbow of colors. This one is a soft pink. They're all 18 count aida. Sometimes if she has 16 count ready to ship, I'll throw those in. So I have a few of those in my, so there's that. Pretty. Again, too, if instead of the, what did I do with it? Oh, instead of doing that spring piece, if I want to do that sampler, I could also use the pink. One of these would be pretty for the pink version of it. Okay. Then I have, you know, I had to get a blue. She has about 60 blues. I'm not lying when I say that either. It's like 3 pages on Etsy. This one's called Blue Grotto. So pretty. I've done a lot of mermaids and the like, but that would be pretty. That modeling, not as strong in person as it's showing up, but it's a very pretty blue. Then I picked up a neutral. It's kind of a creamish, yellowish. It's a yellowish neutral. It's called Buttercream. Let's see if I can get just the right angle. So that's what it looks like. It's pretty. It's nice being a neutral, but it's definitely the yellowy. So actually this one might be pretty for if I wanted to, if I didn't want a really bright summer color, but if I get the summer sampler version, yellow would be pretty. Sunshine, yellow, all that. That's a thought. Here's a purple. So I got lots of purples to add to my purple. My purple stash is definitely lower, actually red and pinks. Well, not really red. I don't have any reds, but claret, garnet, and then pinks is my lowest pile per color looking at it. And that's called Night Bus. Night as in K-N-I-G-H-T. So that's pretty. And then this one, it's funny, on the screen on the computer, it looked, teal's the wrong word, but it looked kind of bluey. I think it's too light for Serena Sprout. I'm going to show it against the Honeydew Melon, but it's actually really quite pretty. And I think a few of the shades of flosses that they chose wouldn't work. But this is called Wave Crest, and it's actually minty. It's more on the minty lines than the blue lines, and it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I really, really like this. I really like it a lot. So let me show you. If, like I said, if some of their shades of green were not what they were, I would surprisingly, I would have been nicely surprised. I would have picked something by accident and I would have gone with it. I think this Honeydew Melon is going to be really pretty though. So you can see the difference. This is greener, this is mintier. So, and that's it. Those are all of my fabrics. Much bigger fabric haul than I thought I'd have. And that's it. I don't splurge on a lot of other things. It's the fabrics I like to splurge on. I buy DMCs on sale. I could take that money towards fabric is the way I look at it. If I was buying silks, think about it then. Whew. So anyway, that's it for fabrics. That's it for shopping. That's all. That's enough. Giveaways. A couple things to do with the giveaways. Let me take my pretty honeydew melon. I feel like I'm talking to Shamrock. We always pretty or water. We always kind of make things a little bit more pronounced for him. Last week's giveaway for the gift certificate to Jardin Privé. I have not heard from the winner yet. The winner is Cheryl Florida. Cheryl, you have one more week. So one more video. This is video number 110. On video number 111. And excuse me, unless something happens, I will tape next Friday. In next video, if I have not heard from you, Cheryl, I will just pick a new winner. I keep all the names until I have heard from the winner. Everybody gets 2 weeks. I figure 1 week, but in 2 weeks' time, you know, I just can't keep holding stuff. I'm trying to clear and organize as it is, you know. Anyway, so Cheryl, I would love to send this to you. Reach out to me. Okay. So that's that. We're going to keep Cheryl's name so that she has a chance. This, ooh, I put the bowl up here this time. This week's giveaway is this beautiful, beautiful pattern from Summer House Stitch Works, Delft Blues. Not pretty, so pretty. And I asked you to say the word flower. So I am going to, there's quite a few of you that wanted this one actually. I'm going to go back here. I feel like I'm so close when I bend over like that. The table is shorter than me because I'm still using my TV tray table for filming. Once I have, we did buy a couple shelves to put on that wall. And then that's going to force me to try to finish some things so I could put them up there and organize them. And then I will probably, unless the lighting is completely off, my goal is to film so that those be at my back rather than my cubes. Okay. So let me put this down. Let me grab a name. Who am I sending this to? Okay. Oops. All right. This, Tammy Vickery. So Tammy, can you reach out to me? And I would be happy to send this pattern off to you. Okay. Congratulations, Tammy. So I'm going to put that over here, just so I remember. And I will, something like that, like for example, something like that that doesn't come in a plastic container, I will take one that I have received stuff in and I will put it in so that it's protected on its way to you. I do as best I can to get these things safely to you. All right, this week's giveaway. I remember I had gotten, back when I had been influenced by Carla from Carla Being Crafty to go look at Rolanda. I'm going to say Rolanda. Fabrics by Rolanda. And I got that gorgeous piece of fabric. I was tempted and I got She Dyes flosses and I got, you know, a set that was like the floss of the month. And I kept a few for myself, but I decided, and I hemmed and hawed this morning because I couldn't decide which ones I wanted to share with you. Ooh, they look pretty against this honeydew melon, actually. I'm giving you, since we are in spring and this is Easter weekend, we're going to go pink. Pinks. So I am sharing, these were two that were part of Floss of the Month, maybe February, March. I honestly don't remember. But we have a light pink and we have a deeper pink. The light pink has some light variegations, because obviously it's lighter, and then the darker pink goes from deeper pink to a light pink. So you have two different types of shades going there. So I'm going to give those away to somebody at my next video. And if you could just say the word floss anywhere in your comment, that's the word I will look for to pick your name and put it in the blue bowl for the next giveaway. As usual, please don't say giveaway or free. Please be over 18, and if you could be a subscriber, I'd love it. Okay, that's it. Look at this. All the stuff that had to do with stitching. We went long, so I will try not to keep you too long with life stuff. If you have to get going and whatever, then I'll see you next week. I hope you have a great week. So what did we do this week? We went from really chilly temperatures to summertime temperatures. It was cool this morning, but it's warmer up here, and I am not putting the air on quite yet because it's getting chilly again in about 3 days. But yesterday we had to drive for Shamrock's visit, doctor, and I think the car registered 85 out there, which we were at 55, and then now we have days of 85. So I am trying to drink water like crazy, and I am definitely warmer. So there's that. We had a really lovely afternoon though. We went downtown and walked on the boardwalk, and if you've ever been to Rehoboth, there's a boardwalk along the beach. Actually, we didn't walk much on that, but then there's also streets with, you know, restaurants and shops and this, that, and the other. So we stuck Shamrock in his stroller. He loves it. And we walked around town, and it was kind of getting close to dinner time. So we found a restaurant with an outdoor seating, and they let us put Shamrock right in the corner. And we had a very lovely dinner sitting outside, and Shamrock just hung out in his stroller. It was really nice. I really enjoyed that. I have to say, really nice. Yesterday, we took Shamrock up to his vet. It's about a 90-minute drive, so there went most of our day. By the time we left to get to the appointment, his eye is looking great. You know, his other stuff in his body is not fixed, but the eye, the doctor said some of the stitches look like they're dissolving. The graft is adhering to the eye or whatever. And he actually can take the cone off. So I feel so guilty at night when I'd have to put the cone on. During the day, if one of us is with him, we would keep eagle eyes on him, especially if he's just literally laying there sleeping. And the doctor said at those times you could take the cone off. So, but at night we didn't know what he was doing. But the doctor said as long as he's not batting at it, which he hasn't, he can go at night without it too. So yay, no more cone unless he starts going at it. More eye drops though. There was another eye drop added. There was one added, apparently, I don't know, there might be some cataract activity going on, so we had to now do a drop in both eyes, probably forever, to slow down or keep away any cataract development. So there's more drops. Yeah, other than that though, came home. He had a long day. We couldn't get him to eat any dinner, so, you know, he ate a few blueberries. That's always his kind of go-to. But this morning, he was ravenous, ate like a champ, you know, which has been our challenge, is to get him fed properly, especially with all the meds. You know, we used to be able to hide things in peanut butter or whatever. He doesn't put up with that anymore. So we do, when he can get a good meal in him and get all his pills in there, I'm always feeling better, calories wise, as well as get his medicine in. So, but he ate like a champ this morning. I had put some peanut in my oatmeal this morning. I did peanut butter and banana. I was kind of in that kind of mood. I wanted to be nice and full so I wouldn't be hungry during taping. And he came running over when he smelled the banana. So he got some banana after breakfast too. So that's good. That was good. This weekend, tomorrow, Megan has a game. So we will probably drive up to Pennsylvania. And I think the weather's supposed to be okay, so that's good. We'll watch the game, hang out for a little bit. I think tomorrow is senior day. She's not a senior. She's a junior. But I don't know. I think they would do something, obviously, for beforehand, and then, you know, some sort of tailgating kind of outdoor thing afterwards. So it'll be nice. It'll be fun. I got to stitch yesterday morning with my stitching group. That was a lot of fun. I was talking half the time instead of stitching, but that's okay. It's just so nice to actually see somebody in person as opposed to just, you know, by myself here. What else? You know, just next week, Shamrock is the regular vet. That one's going to be telling. I'm sure she's going to do more blood work. So we'll see how he's doing. I think he's gained some weight a little bit. He feels a little chunkier. So we'll see. But he's loving his stroller. He absolutely adores it. I don't know if it's because he can see higher or what, but he doesn't bark or say a peep when he's in there. So he's really good. Like when we went to the restaurant, he didn't say a peep there. And he just either sat up or he lays down and just hangs out and watches things, and he loves it. So if you have a dog who's slowing down and you're thinking about it, it's been an awesome purchase for us. And we've only just had it, and we've already made really good use of it. So just something to think about if you're kind of waffling about your little, it's obviously a big giant dog, that might not work. But if you've got a little guy or girl or a little doggy, it might be an option, I have to say. I'm so glad we did it. But that's it. That's about it. That's all that's going on. This weekend, if you celebrate Easter, I would like to say Happy Easter. If you celebrate Passover, I'd like to say Happy Passover. I'm not sure exactly what to say for that. It's gonna be quiet for us because the kids are both in school for Easter itself, but we'll see Megan tomorrow. And yeah, you know, I think it's gonna be cooler but sunny, so we'll take Shamrock for a walk on Easter maybe. And I said to Mo, well, I gotta think of something really fun to cook. We'll see. Or I could just relax. But you know, I did one year, I took tofu and I made it, and it actually, because I made the cuts and everything, and it was glazed and all that, and it looked just, you know, like not like the big round hams, but like a little tiny ham. It was really tasty. Maybe I'll do that again. I don't know. I do love my tofu. Okay, so that's about it. I hope you got some stitching in if you have made it to the end here at this point in time. I do enjoy, I know some of you are kind enough to tell me what you stitched on while you watched, and I always love that. And sometimes I don't know what the pattern is, and then I have to go looking, and then you've inspired me to put another piece on my wish list because there's so many great patterns out there. But I hope you're well. I hope you're safe. I hope whatever you're doing this weekend, whether it is celebratory or not, whether it is with family or not, in our case, we'll be nice and quiet on Sunday. Whatever it is, I hope you have a good one, and I hope it all is well. And until next time, happy stitching.